Yeah, but okay, guys, I know you guys are going off in the chat, so
They're going off. Yeah.
so we've been waiting for quite a while now to find out if Legends Tomorrow and Batwoman, if they would be brought back for another season or not. And sadly, this was, even though it's not Friday the 13th, it feels like it's Friday the 13th because today, shit went to hell. And for all of us, because Batwoman season 4 will not be happening. Sadly, this was the first thing to come out today, as Caroline Dries, who is the showrunner of Batwoman, broke the news that just got the sad news that Batwoman will not be back seeing in season 4. I am bummed, but full gratitude. What an honor to make 51 episodes. So many inspiring, brilliant people contributed to the series. Thank you, producers, cast, and crew. Thank you, fans. We love you, Caroline Dries. And multiple cast members have already started coming out and to say, thank the fans and thank everyone who worked so hard on the show, the writers, and it's been an emotional Twitter fest so far. And
that's the way to say it.
I mean, for me, I know that because I think Batman season being really found its drive. I think this was the best season they had, and I feel like after all the Ruby nonsense, whatever, and so on, that I just Javisha finally she got a whole season now to finally just really let Ryan Wilder be the drive of the show, because I feel like season 2 was essentially her season 1. So but it's sad. Thankfully, they didn't end on any major cliffhangers besides the one little tease of a new villain. Instead of looking at it as an unresolved cliffhanger, think of it as Batwoman will still be out there. She will still be there out there protecting Gotham City and fighting crime and protecting people from evil. So it kind of reminds me a little bit about one of those Justice League Unlimited finales where, when the villains break out, they get to run away again, and then all the heroes go after them. We know that in the end, we may not see these stories continue anymore, but we know that they are always going to continue doing what they do best: protect the world, fight crime, and stop evil, and so on. And how are you feeling about Batwoman's cancellation?
Well, I'm not caught up, unfortunately. I got within season 2, episode 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. It's on my HBO Max. I know if I click on it, it'll tell me what my last episode was. But yeah, I had heard the same thing. The season 3, it really got its stride. Like and your whole point about Javisia's season 2, it was like her season 1. So even though it was season 2 of the show, it realistically, even though it wasn't a reboot, because obviously we're still continuing the storylines from season 1 of Batwoman, in a sense, it felt like a soft reboot with the brand new character. We're not recasting Kate Kane and all that. And well, later they did, but like it wasn't like they're just going to replace Ruby and then just continue as if nothing had happened. It's interesting because I've been hearing from so many people, and I'm surprised because I'm like, okay, well, yeah, maybe eventually I'll get checking out. The season 3 was the best season of the show overall, and so hearing that, I'm quite surprised. But at the same time, I'm wondering. And the next story we'll be talking about revolving around another show, which I'll be calm, is the fact that I wonder if this is a bigger situation than just these shows are just not returning. I wonder if there's something more at play here in terms of CW being sold. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the reason why these shows were not returning. I'm just wondering if there's more at play here than just the shows weren't doing that well. Because I'm wondering how they did streaming wise. Because you can see live viewers and all that kind of stuff, and then after the fact, the 7 days or whatever. But I'm wondering how it did on streaming, how these shows did, and if there's more of something going on behind the scenes. I don't know. But it's sad because these people lost their jobs. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And then just not that long, just like barely 30 minutes ago, it was announced also that Legends Tomorrow season 8 is not a go either. The showrunner, Keto Shimizu, I think that's how you say her name. She lovely person, but I've always been really bad at saying her name. But she tweeted out the news similar to Caroline Dries and saying that, well, folks, it's been an incredible run. However, the CW has let us know that there will be no season 8 of Legends Tomorrow. We are heartbroken, but also immensely grateful for the amazing work our cast and crew and writers contributed to the little show that could. Thank you to our fans. Your love and passion for our strange brand of misfits has made every break, every script, every daily, every cut, and every mix worth all the hard work. We see you, we love you, and you will always have a place on the way, writer. And yeah, right now Twitter is it is an explosion of field, and I completely understand that. And I'm gonna make something abundantly clear right now. No matter if you like the shows, or if you love the shows, this is not the time. There's never no time to be mean or to be hostile, to be a douchebag about shows getting canceled, because even if you didn't like the shows, even if you had issues with the show, there were people who liked certain shows and it meant something for them. So to go, like Twitter is like, I don't even want to look at Twitter, but I have to do it because of my job. And seeing people just like so petty and so like it's so funny to me, like that these shows were so like that people had so much problems with these kind of shows and so on. Like how did they bother their lives? I mean, besides the fact that most of those people who probably complain have small dicks, live in their mother's basement, that have nothing better to do with their lives, that hasn't touched grass in like 10 years. What is like, how much does these shows really bother you? Is it because it doesn't fit your typical narrative that you're used to? It doesn't fit within your comfortable bubble of whiteness, straightness, and dudeness? I'm sorry, because all us who are not white or straight, we've been out here for quite a while. So just shut your trap hole. I'm sad. I'm I definitely had issues. I had issues with the show, but these were great actors. These were wonderful characters, great people who ran the show, and I felt at least they could find something to do to kind of at least wrap up these stories. And so, what did he do? Like maybe like a digital comic to kind of just wrap things up or whatever? Because I feel like something like I at least always imagined, like in a possible world that they could have at least gone like a 2 hour like little special TV movie or something, kind of just to because that cliffhanger that Legends ended on, you don't need a whole season to wrap it up, because I feel like so many of the previous episodes kind of set the stage for where these characters going to go when their time on the Wayrider is over. So, but it's sad, but 7 years is still great long run. So there you have it. Jordan, we behave.
Thank you for saying that he's describing me.
No, but here's the thing. Here's what's different with someone like Jordan, and then the man babies crying out there and complaining and shitting on anything that is not white, straight, and dude. Jordan is an actual human being with a brain who realizes that, hey, the people with my skin color is not the only one to exist in this world. I need to actually think about the fact that society is very layered. Just saying. And he doesn't go on his channel and make these rant videos or complain about SJW or wokeness and so on. No, he reacts to these shows as a healthy human being.
I am tired of this woke trash.
He says with a Persian co-host that he invited to become part of his channel.
Woke trash nonsense. Get it off my TV. Okay, so let's
go for it. What like do you have any positive words tonight? Because right now there's a lot people are in pain.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's been maybe something here that you enjoyed about Legends over the years, or at least from you had seen. So
okay. I'm trying to be on my best behavior here. Okay, so number one, I really enjoyed the concept of Legends. The first season, I think overall could have been better, but I liked the fact that we're bringing these characters together. Holiday of time traveling. Over time, I lost interest, but my whole thing was this: I would shit on the show, live streams. I'd shit on the show, but at the end of the day, these people had jobs, and they were working, and they're making a product, and it seemed like they were enjoying making said product. There's definitely a fan base for this show, and like people were saying, Twitter is a cesspool for anything. So of course, with this, there's a positive and negatives with Batwoman and Legends being canceled. I mean, perfect example. I'll give you one perfect example. I know people don't like the app TikTok. I make TikToks. I did a quick little video when Batwoman got canceled, and I got a lot of people commenting saying thank God, and that's just like, okay, that's what's gonna happen. But the thing is that it ended on a cliffhanger with Booster Gold in season 7 of Legends. So someone had commented saying they should have at least gave them 10 episodes, like an abridged season 8, like Arrow, to wrap up said storyline. And that's kind of my bigger problem with Netflix and the CW, is that even though Batwoman didn't end on too much of a cliffhanger except for teasing apparently a villain, which I don't know, okay, it's the fact that Legends had a major cliffhanger, and it's like, at least let them end on their own terms. Like, I get it if you don't want to give them a full season, and Legends is very expensive to make, give them those 10 episodes to wrap up the storyline, whatever they're doing. You don't have to give them the full 15 or whatever episodes, or like do like a 2-hour special. I don't know. You could have done something to make it to where it's not being just shut down, because people have been pointing out in the comics, and I kept thinking about, like, they're actually right. Legends and Batwoman are the first 2 Arrowverse shows to be canceled. Arrow ended on their own terms.
No.
Supergirl, Black Lightning ended on their own terms.
Well, so actually, Black Lightning was canceled.
Well, they got a 4th and final season.
No, but here's the thing. They had already started shooting season 4, and then in the middle of it, that's when CW announced that they were getting canceled. So
well, then people got the information wrong. But
yeah, but it's also because they don't think Black Lightning is the Arrowverse, and also because they do not like black people.
Well, it is in the Arrowverse because it was multiverse. But the thing is that at the end of the day, these people lost their jobs. If you're happy that the show ended, that's on you. For me, I have my own thoughts, but I'll be professional. But in terms of this, people lost their jobs. They didn't allow them to end on their own terms. I personally would have preferred it if they would have let them in on their own terms versus just letting them just pull the rug out from under them and going, nope, you're done. But it goes to the whole thing about people using that buzzword cancellation. These shows were canceled. They did not end on their own terms. And of course, people use that buzzword all over the place, but it is what it is.
We have a super chat from Naruto 0076. I thank you so much for your super chat, first of all.
Thank you.
I think Gotham Knights and Justice League will go straight to series. Deadline said Legends characters could go to other shows. Yeah, that's not confirming that are going to show up on the other show. But that is true that in theory, any of the other shows can use them. Like that's like how Black Lightning was used on The Flash in Armageddon, and so on. So it's that can happen. Like I think at this point, at Gotham Knights is they're filming right now. I think they're almost done. Like they're filming for. I know my buddy Craig is in here. Craig, when does Gotham Knights wrap its pilot? But
Craig just said, "Just as you ain't happening."
I want to see if there was any. Did we have any other super? I'm debating whether or not to even bring this up because this one is a little malicious.
I saw it. Thank you, Aiden, for the super chat. We're not going to pull it up. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely talk more about this stuff in the Q&A portion, guys.
I think next week. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's because the pilot usually gets a few extra weeks to film, and so but I think at this point, like they are a safe bet to happen. What happened?
Got 2 more super chats just came in. Thank you.
There we
I
go.
wasn't into the shows, but canceling is wrong. Yep, we agree. It's better if you allow them to end on their own terms, or at least give them more time. If you really thought Batwoman, I don't know. Maybe they thought Batwoman season 4 was going to happen. I don't know.
This what's so confusing to me is that I know someone I talked to someone a couple of weeks ago and like, but what was the point of even doing these like freaking comics then if they're not going to bring them back? Here's the thing: the Earth Prime comic was approved a long time ago, and so and this was like them, because we have to remember the CW sale thing got announced in January. Earth Prime was likely something they'd already like prepped and planned for as early as late last fall. So it sucks. It sucks that it has resulted that while now that Batwoman's getting more involved with the Arrowverse, and and I think the Legends issue is coming up next. It's disappointing, but it's just sadly like the comic was never really navigating whether or not they had another season or not. So it's because Stargirl has not even come back yet, and Stargirl that's like issue 4 or 5 basically. So it
got one more saying his theory is that the Warner Bros. Discovery cutting script content is a huge part of this. It's
he's talking about TNT and the TBS thing that came out a couple of weeks ago.
This might not be a bad theory, because I did theorize during the Batwoman segment, Cody, that there might be more going on to this than just CW canceling. This might be above them. I don't know. Or maybe they just cut the contract between CW. I don't know if they could do that, but I don't know. I mean, it's Warner Bros. Discovery. I don't know what power David Zaslav has now. He has all the power.
All the power in the
power.
There's going to be so many changes. Some of it we will love, some of it we will hate, some of them will be like
So
the fuckers now.
I mean, I'm not confirming this, but guys, this might be our first look at Warner Bros. Discovery making those changes because they cut 2 shows. I don't know. I mean, it could be CW's decision, but you never know. I'm also real quick before we jump in that we have to do CinemaCon stuff. We do have to get to that, but we have Mr. Deathstorm and Cicada both in here.